Oh, there we go. We're live.
Hey, we're back. We had some technical difficulties, didn't we?
Well, not me.
Oh, wow. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the AutoAuthorities. My name is Jay Grossman. I'm the founder and CEO of iAutoAgent, and this is Mr.
David Marks with Quality Auto STL. Trusted services with no surprises.
We are excited to have you today, and we have a big show. I'm really excited because I've actually had a lot of people come to me, and recently, because we do help people buy cars as well, about resale value. I've never met anybody that says, I want the lowest resale value. I want the highest miles. I want the worst condition. I've never had anybody tell me that. And the least reliable. Never had anybody say that to me before.
Wow, that's the worst of all worlds.
Oh, yeah. And we have got a whole show for you today. We are going to be talking about the best and worst cars to buy for resale value. And I'm very excited. We're going to start with the best. We're going to end with the worst. And also, if you're listening to this, I would like to thank our sponsors, iAutoAgent. We are real estate agents for people's cars. They handle all the process from start to finish to sell your car at no cost to the seller. And Mr. David Marks with Quality Auto STL, trusted service with no surprises. And if you're listening today, we're going to be able to have you comment in. So if you want to add comments of cars you're driving, or maybe you have questions about the car you're driving, if it's a good resale value or it's not a good resale value, please let us know. We're watching the comments today. And speaking of comments, if you're watching on YouTube, please click the red subscribe button. On Facebook, if you'd like to be part of our community, please join our Facebook group, the AutoAuthorities Podcast. We are really excited to have you here today. And if you have any questions, send them to info@iautoagent.com. And then we'll talk about the little gift that we're going to be giving our listeners today. And you ready to do this, Dave?
Absolutely.
All right.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride when buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay.
And I'm Dave.
And this is the podcast that tells you what to watch out for, whether you're buying, selling,
or repairing your car.
With 47 years of automotive experience, we are the Automotive Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent. We're real estate agents for cars.
And Quality Auto STL. Trusted services with no surprises.
Boom. And we are back. So we're going to be talking about the best and worst cars for resale value. We have a big show today. If you are listening, you are going to get a complimentary gift. If you take out your phone and you text the number 57838 and type in the word car in the message section and hit send, you are going to receive a free ebook on how to buy a car without the nonsense. It's the exact process that we take people through every day that they hire iAutoAgent to help them buy a car nationwide. Unless you like sitting around a dealer for 4 to 7 hours, go ahead and download that book, and it will also alert you for all of our future episodes. It's going to be great. So I'm going to talk about probably the number one car, and I'm going to tell you there's a story behind this, and that's the Toyota Tacoma. And if you're driving a Tacoma, feel free and you can comment in. If you know somebody that has one, those are tremendously high resale value cars. Don't ask me why either. I don't know, other than Toyota is a phenomenal product. The Tacoma is a great vehicle. And the way that resale values are determined based on demand. And apparently a lot of people want these vehicles. And the perception of a Toyota, as we all know, is it will last forever. So I'll tell you a story. I talk about leasing a lot. And I had leased a vehicle for our family. It was a Toyota Tacoma. in 2019. And I just decided to sell the lease, actually. A lot of people don't know that, and we talked about that in previous episodes. But I leased the vehicle. It had a 75% residual. Now,
what does that mean, Jay? You going to explain that to us?
Yes. So let me explain that. So a 75% residual over a 3-year time means the vehicle is only losing 25% of its value in 3 years.
Wow.
Yes. So here's a perfect example.
Oh, shit.
The MSRP, which is the sticker price on this vehicle when we leased it, was a little over $36,000. Now, I had probably, I'm going to say about $1,000 worth of damage on the car, easy, maybe more. And I just got $32,500 in 2 years. Now, granted, we're in a high market, but those vehicles always have a very, very high residual. So if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, that's my number one pick. What's one that you like, Dave?
I mean, you know, in my price range, that 3 to 6 range, you know, anything Honda or Toyota, the Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, the Toyota Corolla, I throw Kelley Blue Book out the window when I'm selling these. This is what I want, and I get it.
Absolutely.
Amazing the conditions. I can sell those in a worse cosmetic condition than I could a Chevy Cruze and get more money.
That is a very true statement. And I'm going to talk about, Dave's talking about $3,000 to $6,000 cars. I'm going to talk about 2019s, 2020s, 2018s, Honda Accords, Toyota Camrys. Believe it or not, you could literally have probably a 2019 Toyota Camry right now or a 2019 Honda Accord and get pretty darn close what you paid for that thing 2 years ago.
It's nuts.
It is insane. So with that being said, and this is a little bit of a wild card, I'm going to throw something out to everybody. Listen closely. When people come to iAutoAgent and they want to use our buyer's agent program and they say, well, I want a 1 to 2 year old Toyota Camry, and I'll use Honda Accord as the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what the number one thing I tell them is?
Go buy brand new.
Yep. Because even going to a pre-owned, we have had numerous instances where we have had Toyotas and Honda Accords that are literally less money in a new one than a pre-owned. And even with all this stuff going on, we've talked about the chip shortage many, many times. But even with the chip shortage going on, I still think you should buy a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry brand new, point blank. Now, I'm gonna share something with you because like people like, oh, I don't want to lose the depreciation. This is something many people don't know, and this isn't. I don't know. This may be an insider secret. So the margin on a Toyota Camry or a Honda Accord brand new is so small, it's not even funny. So the margin, what I'm talking about is what it costs the dealer to buy the car versus what the dealer is selling the car for. The difference in between is the margin or the markup is so little that it doesn't make sense to buy a pre-owned car. Now, there are plenty of people that will debate that with me, but chances are they have not been doing this almost 26 years like me. I'm going to tell you the next one on my list, and I know that everybody's going to love this one.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer.
If you have a Jeep Wrangler, you are sitting on a potential gold mine.
I was gonna say, you're driving a golden nugget.
I'm gonna give you 2 instances why that is the absolute truth. First instance, I'm gonna go back to I believe a lot in leasing cars, and I've preached this left and right. Finally, some of the media is actually finally putting out there that you should lease a car. I've been saying this for years, and I can teach you strategies on how to get the best bang for your buck on a lease. But let's talk about my 2017 Jeep Wrangler that I leased in 2017. And I did a 39-month lease. I kept the thing for almost 3 years. It had a little bit of damage on it.
That's 3 years and 3 months. Why the odd number?
What'd you say?
That's 3 years and 3 months. It's 39 months.
Right. Yes. So basically, well, that was the term of the lease. I wound it. So that lease, when I got out of that lease, I made $3,500 on that vehicle.
Wow.
Why is that?
Well,
Because everybody likes Jeep Wranglers, and it comes down to the demand for the car you are driving. It is the perception. It is like
perceived value. Because you ask me, I could tell you all kinds of things that we fix on those.
well, and I agree with that. It's the Jeep wave. It's you're part of a group, and people like doing things to their Jeeps. I'll tell you another instance.
I'm surprised that's not number one.
Well, this is just my opinion and your opinion.
No, I
based
get
on
it.
Our experience. I mean, it could be number one, it could be number two, but I'm going to tell you this: there ain't anything better than a Jeep Wrangler or a Toyota Tacoma anywhere, and
No,
you're not going to get hurt.
No,
You're not going to get
one
hurt.
surprises me because they have very little market share.
What did you say?
I said your third one surprises me considering that the big boys are 1, 2, and 3 in that segment by a landslide.
Yeah, I mean, it has always been that way. And it's so we had another person come to us looking for a Jeep Wrangler.
This is
and
Bobby.
What'd you say?
Was Bobby looking
No,
for a
it
Jeep
wasn't
Wrangler?
Bobby. Actually, Bobby made a bad decision. Can you imagine this?
No.
So Bobby is going to be buying the cars that we're going to be talking about next. And listen closely, because we have some bombshells we're going to drop on you that you may not expect. Bobby makes very bad decisions, as we all know. If you know the characters in the Auto Authorities podcast, we all know the character of Bobby.
And Guido. We can't leave Guido out.
Well,
We can't neglect Guido.
Well, Guido is the one that helps Bobby make the bad decision. Guido's at the
Right.
dealership. Guido's at the dealership, and Guido runs back and forth to his manager.
His cousin Eddie.
And this isn't all dealerships either. This is just our fun that we have. There are some really, really good ones that we work with all the time that this stuff doesn't happen. But this wouldn't be a fun podcast if we didn't talk about Bobby and Guido. And
Right. Come on.
And of
I
course,
think it's been 12 minutes. We haven't talked about him yet.
yeah, Guido's brother that's in the finance department. So that's a whole nother story. But here, keeping focused here, listen to this. So I had a client reach out, and he's like, I want to buy a year or two old Jeep Wrangler for my son as a first vehicle. And I'm
Damn,
like,
hey, I'm available for adoption. I want to be his kid.
yeah, you should hear what he wanted to buy. Actually, he leased it. Listen. So we looked at a 2019 Jeep Wrangler. It was a Sahara model, fully loaded.
Nice.
It was the same price now as it was brand new. The sticker price. The same price. And we were determined at iAutoAgent to help him make an educated decision. I cannot have my client go pay too much money for a vehicle. So we found a great dealer, Chrysler dealer, Jeep dealer, that we did a lease, and he got a killer deal on it. Why? Because the residual was over 70%.
Damn.
Which means, again, for those of you just joining us, that is what that vehicle is worth. Now, we did a 39-month lease. That still had a residual over 70%. So that means that that vehicle is only going to drop 30% in its lifetime. How about that, Mr. David Marsh?
Wow.
The STL.
Yeah, it's like I need to go buy one.
Well, it's tempting, isn't it? So, and I'm
I
not
watch
getting,
them at auction, and I'm like, I see the price range. I'm like, they always go over MMR every single time.
Yeah, they go way too expensive. So I'm going to tell you a wild card here too, and then we're going to be getting to our worst cars. So a couple wild cards. Number one, a Kia Telluride. If you want a Kia Telluride, it is the most sought after vehicle on the face of the earth, maybe next to a Kia Carnival. I am not kidding either. And typically Kias don't retain their value tremendously well, but a Kia Telluride, if you can get a hold of one of these things, they're worth a piece of gold.
Yeah, I just had a guy tell me CarMax gave him more than what he owed on it, like by like $5,000.
Yeah, and if CarMax is giving that to you, that CarMax likes to buy at wholesale value, and I'm going to tell you that you can't even get a Kia Telluride. It's a 3 to 4 month wait, and the Kia Carnival now is actually harder to get than the Kia Telluride. Wow. But that's a whole nother story.
Sure.
But another one that's a really good one is a Tesla Model 3. We're seeing these cars bring pretty close to what the MSRP or the sticker price is, brand new. Brand new. So you can buy a brand new one and a used one, and they're almost identical in price.
Wow.
But you're going to have to wait a little bit for a Tesla Model 3. And that's one of the reasons why they're going for as much as they are, supply and demand. Supply and demand. So if you're just joining us, Dave and I are talking about the best and worst cars to buy for resale. We just talked about the best, and if you missed it, you missed an amazing thing.
One thing I want to talk about is you got the Toyota Tundra up there, and that's what gets me is because GM, Ford, and Chrysler are way ahead of them on sales when they're brand new.
Toyota Tundras bring all the money in the world. All the money in the world. They do. It is because the perception of a Toyota is the perception this vehicle will last me a really long time.
You think, Ford and GM would have that same perception or what? Because Chrysler's number 2 behind Ford in truck sales, right?
Ford is number 1.
Well, I know Ford is number 1, but didn't Chrysler pass GM combined?
I'd have to check on that. I don't know the answer to that. But again, when somebody perceives something, they see it as a value. And when they see it as a value, they want that vehicle. And the more demand for that vehicle, the prices go higher, right?
Yeah, no, all of economics.
Magically, they go higher. So if you're just listening, we're going to get to the worst cars because that's going to be the real fun part for me and Mr. David Marks. Yeah. But if you're just joining us, we're talking about the best and worst cars for resale. And I wanted to thank sponsors iAutoAgent, real estate agents for cars. They handle every aspect of the selling process for you at no cost to you. And Mr. David Marks with Quality STL, trusted services with no surprises. And if you are listening to this and you're watching it on YouTube, please click the red subscribe button, or on Facebook and you want to be part of our community, please join the Facebook group, the Auto Authorities Podcast, and click the join group button. And if you want to send us questions, send them to info@iautoagent.com. That's info@iautoagent.com. And then finally, we have a free gift. If you haven't been listening yet, if you text 57838, that's 57838, and send in the message section the word car, you will receive a free ebook on how to buy a car without the nonsense. It's a phenomenal book, step by step, on how to keep yourself from being in a dealership for 4 to 7 hours. There you go. So you ready to get into this, Dave?
Hell yeah.
What's your number one? And I'll give you mine after that.
Oh, worst car with resale value?
Yes.
Anything. It's a luxury European. I was about to say Volkswagen, but they're not a really luxury brand. I mean, I see them go. I'll watch 10-year-old Hondas bring more money than an 8-year-old Jaguar, Land Rover, or whatever at Mannheim, and it's like, wow.
Which one's your favorite again?
The worst with resale value?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I throw Jaguar and Land Rover up there. They're just worthless.
We tend to agree, Mr. David Marks.
Yeah. There's a couple up there that surprised me on the list.
Well, let's talk about Range Rover and Jaguar, because we've hit this numerous times in our podcast. Again, it's about demand. And let me ask you a question. Do you want to be driving over $100,000 car and it has a 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty? And when that warranty is done, what is that car worth?
Worth less.
A lot less. I have seen these $100,000 plus cars lose more than 60% of their value in just a couple years.
Wow.
But here's the reason why people spend $100,000 on a Range Rover is because they want that warranty. Because one repair on a Jaguar or a Land Rover or a Range Rover, you will be you'll be furnishing the dealer's owner's house.
Yeah,
Very
I
nice.
had a guy here last week had an 06 S-Type or X-Type, I can't remember, with stupid low miles on it, like 60-something thousand miles on it, and to repair it was going to cost like $4,000. He goes, I paid $2,500 for the car. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, and it just, and one, I told him I don't want to work on it because it's been by the ocean because it was nothing but rust underneath. But yeah, we've done other work to that thing, and it's anytime he's brought it in here, he spends $3,000.
Yep, and then and again, Dave, it comes down to this: price and cost. What did he spend for it? $2,500.
No, I think he spent like $4,000 or $5,000, but we've fixed it a couple of times. He's got more in repairs than what he paid for it. I'll put it that way.
So he's just adding $4,000 more. Now he owns the car for $10,000. He owns a $6,000 car for $10,000. That's no fun, and that doesn't feel very good.
No.
And those are just the things that he knows about the car right now. What about all the unknowns? Because the warranty is out.
Oh, it's long gone.
And I can tell you this: our warranty company that we partner with, they're not going to sell a warranty on that car. They won't even offer that warranty.
No.
Why? Because you're driving around a ticking time bomb.
You're exactly right.
Did I ever tell you the story about the Jaguar that I bought and how much have we talked about that?
No, I've never heard this before.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you're messing around with me.
No,
okay.
no.
I
had no idea. I mean, I heard your Lexus story with your wife at the service drive.
So I decided to go against what I normally preach. And we all learn our lessons in life.
That's true.
Yeah, we had 2013 Jaguar Xj, and it was a really, really cool car. And I picked the thing up for $10,000. Okay, it only had 70,000 miles on it, in unbelievable condition. Month one, all of a sudden we get a light that comes on the dash, and it's leaking antifreeze all over the place. And I have really good deals. I can get very good deals when it comes to repairing things. So it was probably about a $3,000 to $4,000 repair.
Holy
and I was pissed. If I would have taken it over to a Jaguar dealer, it would have been every bit of that. So I paid pennies on the dollar, but it was still $1,500 to fix the car, and it was month one. It's like, oh, welcome to this. All right, well, I'll fix it.
Jaguar.
Yeah, I'll fix it. A couple weeks later, that darn light came back on again. Now it's another part that went bad. Here's why, again, this is a crappy resale value car. Who the heck wants to own this car? Not me. I want nothing to do with it. I have now a $10,000 Jaguar that I paid, but my real cost was really probably closer to $13,000 to $14,000, and I just dumped that car. I was like, I wouldn't even sell it through iAuto Agent because that thing was a piece of junk.
Yeah, we don't work on them here. I told her no Jaguars, no Land Rovers. We don't want to work on them.
We've harped enough about Jaguars. I'll tell you another one, and this is a Bobby story. And Bobby actually likes to buy Cadillacs. and Bobby bought an SRX.
Yeah,
And
keep me employed.
yeah, so if you buy one of these SRXs, I mean, you're going to spend
I'm
probably,
going to send you a thank you card with some cookies.
yeah, yeah. Dave keeps turning wrenches because of that, the Cadillacs.
Oh, we just had somebody bought an 05 CTS with low miles on it. They've spent, when repairs, what they paid for it.
Yeah, that's another one. So we can pretty much categorize Cadillacs in all things, but the only thing that isn't categorized in that is the Escalade. Those things actually hold their value fairly well. But when you're talking about a Cadillac SRX or a CTS or a CT5, I mean, there's so many different ones out there. But the bottom line is, and this is what I've been trying to convey the whole time, it's all based on demand. And you don't want to own these cars outside of warranty, and you're going to just take a bath on the car, especially these people that are taking out 5 and 6 and 7 year loans, and they're trying to hop out of their car in 3 years to get out of it before the warranty expires. They find themselves $10,000 out of equity, and they owe way more money than what the car's worth. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I hear it here.
I'm going to tell you, Dave. You pick the next one because I'm gonna end with.
Well, what surprises me is the Nissan Leaf. I wouldn't have. I don't know nothing about them. I've never had one over here. I'm kind of surprised that that's on the list. The Fiat 500 you got in here, that's kind of a no-brainer. It's a Fiat. Who the hell wants a Fiat?
Well, electric cars go for a lot of money because of the battery and the hybrids and the whatever. So here's why that is because, number one, they have a very high MSRP. Now, granted, they've had a lot of incentives on these Nissan Leafs just to get people to buy them. Nobody wants them because they haven't really been proven to be a great car. And there's a lot of better choices when it comes to electric cars out there. They just got behind in the shuffle. So again, it comes down to demand.
You know what should be on here is the Chevy Volt and Bolt. You know, they've recalled every single one they've made.
Well, and definitely, and that's one of the reasons why they stopped making the Volt, because
go back to 2000. Well, the Volt and the Bolt.
The Bolt.
They recalled everyone they've made, and they have no fix for it.
Their track record sucks, and when your track record sucks as a car, that is going to affect your resale value. It's the perception of that buyer. And I'm gonna share a bombshell with you, and I bet it may surprise people. And this is 100% been this way for I don't know how long. You want to take a guess? Well, you know what it is.
I know what it is, but go ahead.
It's the BMW 7 Series. Let's talk about the BMW 7 Series. It is an absolutely beautiful car. It is an absolutely just like it's a piece of artwork. They have every freaking option you can possibly imagine in that car. And it's one of the worst cars ever made. And what happens when it's a bad car, as we're all learning today, when it's a bad car and the perception is that it's a bad car, people do not want to own these cars. So if you have a BMW 7 Series and you spent probably $125,000 for this car, that's probably what it costs. Oh boy.
Wow.
Because you will find out really, really quickly what it feels like to lose money on a car. I mean, it is the most painful thing you've ever seen. And back in the day when Jay used to be in the dealership world, and all my colleagues that I work with would all say this, it is a ticking time bomb. And you could buy those vehicles so inexpensive, it's not even funny. You could buy a BMW probably right now, 7 Series, 2011, I don't even know, but like probably 75 cents on the dollar or 50 cents on the dollar, something like that. It's just so, they're so inexpensive because as soon as that thing hits out of warranty, nobody wants it. Why? because you are talking a small fortune when something breaks on that car. Well,
Yeah.
I think we've I think we've hit it all, Dave. I hope everybody learned something today. And, these are just our opinions. If you have one of these cars, it doesn't mean that, you got to run out and go sell it. But, it's just something you got to be thinking about when you're going to buy that next car. Is this a highly demanded car? And the way you can tell is go to the reviews, go to the forums, listen to what people say. Oh, I love my Honda Accord. Who has said to me that they don't like their Honda Accord? Nobody.
No.
I mean, some people probably, but not many. And it's not the perception that the public has. So I know we've exhausted our effort. We're running over time, but I wanted to thank thank our sponsors, AutoAgent.com. Real estate agents for cars. They'll sell you a car, no cost to you, and you don't have to do anything or lift a finger. And then Mr. David Marks with Quality Auto STL, with trusted service with no surprises. We have had an amazing show, Dave, and we have a lot planned. You guys will be surprised at our next episode. I won't even say, and don't you say, Dave.
Say what?
There you go. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in today to the Auto Authorities Podcast. I'm Jay Grossman. This is Mr. David Marks. We'll see you next time.
Peace.